Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. It is 7 o'clock on November 15th. I'll call this meeting to order. First two items on our agenda, we'll do it not simultaneously, but one after the other. We'll do our invocation first, and then we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, so please remain standing afterwards. I saw Paul here. Paul, you giving the invocation tonight? All right. From the Presbyterian Church tonight. Thank you, Paul.
About a week and a half from now, we'll all be seated around a table, and we'll be anticipating saying a prayer or something like that. You can, if you think about it, you can even smell the turkey and the garlic mashed potatoes. And everybody is sometimes at that time asked to say something they are thankful for. So what is something that we're thankful for tonight? Anybody can play, not just the council people, but what are we thankful for?
Our community.
Our community. Nice.
Family.
Yeah.
And our mayor.
Our health.
Yeah, our
Health.
health. Our health. Freedom.
Excellent.
Health?
Health. Good. Yeah, pray with me, please. Father, we are filled with gratitude because the things that you have done for us. We are thrilled to be here tonight to participate in a democratic and free system. Father, we are grateful, we are thankful for the upcoming financial and business opportunities we see coming to Casa Grande. You have blessed us greatly. We are thankful for the city employees, the first responders, for people in our military, police, sheriffs, fire, safety forces. Father, we are thankful for those on the front lines of a pandemic that's becoming an endemic, something that's just not going to go away. But we rely upon those first responders in medicine to keep us safe, to bring us back to health. Thank you for your many blessings, Father. Thank you especially for the opportunities that you give us to help those less fortunate than ourselves. The opportunities to spread what we have so generously been given. So thank you, Father, for all the blessings that we have in our lives, even the challenges, because it is by acknowledging that all comes from you that we see your plan, your kingdom begin to unfold in the world. In all of these things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
All right, next order of business is our roll call. So let the roll call show that all council members are present.
So noted.
Mayor, with the minutes, we have, we need to approve the city council regular meeting minutes from November 1st, approve the city council special meeting minutes from November 1st, consider the approval of the city council special meeting minutes from November 9th, consider accepting the arts, and the arts would be accepting. So those would, we move to approve, and then we, to accept the Arts and Humanities Commission minutes from October 5th, the Cascadande Planning and Zoning Commission minutes from October 7th, and last but not least, accepting the Cascadande Planning and Zoning Commission minutes from October 21st as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Next is claims against the city.
Mayor McFarland, I move to accept and pay the claims dated October 27th, November 9th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Mayor, I abstain.
Okay. So noted. Any opposed? Did I already ask that? I think I did. No? Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is our meeting agenda approval. Are there any changes, Mr. Raines?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, we'd like to remove item F1 from the agenda this evening.
So we're going to do it another time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which two is it?
the swearing in.
Okay, the swearing in, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. Any other changes from anyone? All right, seeing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the modification of F1.
So moved.
Second.
Our motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Meeting agenda is approved. Next item is our consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion and one roll call vote of the council. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Is there anyone on the council who wants to remove anything? Anyone from the public? Yes, ma'am. This is our consent agenda item, so if there's something on the consent agenda item? Which one? I'm sorry? G3 and 4. Okay. If those are not public comments, you could actually make those comments, well, we'll be voting on it.
Mayor, you'll be voting on it. What I'm hearing, since someone wants to make comment, you're never required to allow it, but if you do want to allow it, she's at least allowed to pull the items from the consent agenda for a separate
And
consideration.
then we'd consider it
And then-
before the public comment, or at the same time as public comment?
So you're actually going to have to consider those items separately, individually now, because the members of the public can also ask that
Right.
items be removed
Right, I
from
got it.
consent. So if you do want to allow comment, you can do it after this. We would do item G3 and G4 after we do the remainder of the consent items, just like we always do.
Okay.
And you would have the prerogative to allow any comment at that time.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right, so we'll pull G3 and G4. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah, G3 and G4. So we'll pull those off.
Okay, Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda with the amendment for removing G3 and G4.
Okay?
Second.
A motion and a second. Gloria, can I get a roll call vote, please, minus G3 and G4?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. Okay, we'll go back then to G3 and G4. We don't normally have a public hearing on these, but I will open the floor for public comment. So if you would like to come forward, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Tell us your name and your address, please, for the records.
Hi, my name is Nancy Wood. It's 513 Speckle Road, Cascadande, Arizona.
Closer to the mic, please.
Nancy Wood, 513 East Speckle Road, Cascadande, Arizona. I wanted to actually give my support for this project and the changes involved in it. I think it's a real option for the city to have something new with a gated community. And the developer that is doing this has been really liked what they're seeming to plan and appreciate their consideration for the wildlife that is in the area. And wanted to ask the city council to consider that the remaining part of G Diamond Ranch also still has burrowing owls in the area for the developers to look for. So I wanted to voice my support and say thank you to the developer. So.
All right, thank you, Nancy. Thank you.
And that's for that one.
Okay. Is that G3 and G4? Okay. All right. Then any other comments?
Yeah.
Right. We
Okay.
should, so
Yeah.
we should vote on G3.
All right, then let's
Okay.
call for an ordinance number on G3, please.
Ordinance number 1178.194.5, An ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving a major amendment to G Diamond Ranch Planned Area Development adopted for property generally located at the northwest corner of Cottonwood Lane and Peart Road, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for approval of ordinance 1178.194.5 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, the next item is item G4.
It's Nancy Wood, 513 Speckle Road, Casa Grande, Arizona. I believe this is a changeover from single-family homes to PAD. Is that correct?
They're still single-family homes. Even the PAD was a single-family home, and the R2, change to R2 is also single-family homes.
I think it's within the changes. What I wanted to make a comment on is the large comments, the large number of changes from the single-family homes to the R2 designation, reducing the lot sizes and changing the number of homes per unit. And as far as the development area goes, that I would hope that we don't just rubber stamp all these this way, and that there's given options for lot sizes and the open spaces that are needed in the community. I just hate to see too much compromises with the water issues that we have and the changes in the number of units per acre as far as single-family homes to the R2. And just hope that we keep the options open. I like what some of the developers are doing, and I don't particularly care for some of the others that are just cramming in smaller units. That's just my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Brett, is it okay for me to opine on the process?
Yeah, this item is open for consideration, so anything relevant to the process you can speak to.
Okay, so just so it's clear, we're on our second reading for this particular, and all of these are actually second readings. And what I would suggest, if someone has issues with this, that they actually bring it up prior to this. It should actually be brought up at planning and zoning probably first. That would be the first place I would look. So keep an eye on planning and zoning. If you see something you don't like, make sure you make your comments known there, because they can actually affect some change. And or prior to it coming to the second reading for us, because by the time we get to second reading, we've already had discussions on it. So I just want to make sure that the process is clear in terms of how we handle these. So, but we appreciate your comments. We hear you, and we will make sure that, I think there's some considerations that P&Z is pushing forward that will actually address some of your concerns, which is open spaces. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. I will consider an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 1178.138.2, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance 1178 and its subsequent amendments by changing the zoning from planned area development to multifamily residential on property generally located at the northeast corner of Yearly Road and Hennis Road, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor McFarland, I move for approval of ordinance number 1178.138.2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston,
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right. Next is item H, which is public comment. So this is an opportunity for public to address the council. As it is not, if someone comes forward, it's not on the agenda, we can't have a conversation about it. But I want to let you know that we will direct your comments to staff and we will follow up. So if anyone has anything they'd like to bring up to council, now is the time to do it. Whether you filled out a comment card or not, I'll allow you to come forward. Anyone? No? Okay. All right, I'll close the public comments section and we'll move on to award of contracts. And the first item is I-1, and this is under Gloria.
Yeah, this is the second reading, Mr. Mayor, members of the city council. So we'll just be reading this by title for council's consideration. And we did have a council member who abstained on this item, so that's why it's not on the consent agenda. Okay. Ordinance number 3312, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving a development agreement between the city of Casa Grande and Kohler Company, authorizing the use and/or expenditure of funds for economic development, authorizing the use and/or expenditures of any funds necessary to satisfy the requirements of the development agreement, and authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute the development agreement and other documents reasonably necessary for the purpose of implementing the development agreement.
Mr. Mayor, with enthusiasm, I move to approve ordinance 3312 as presented.
Second?
With enthusiasm, I second also. So.
I heard we're giddy about this.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender,
Yes.
Councilmember McBride,
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons,
I abstain.
Councilmember Herman,
Yes.
Councilmember Powell,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston,
Yes, a very giddy yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, then we'll move to item I-2, which is considering approval of ordinance number 3314.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Staff recommends the mayor and city council authorize a contract with Pros Consulting, Inc. with the local office in Goodyear, Arizona, in the amount of $174,810 for consulting services related to the update of the Community Services Master Plan. The most recent update to the master plan was presented to the city council in 2007. Since that time, many of our goals and objectives have been achieved, and we feel it's time to update this plan, and we brought this to the council in the FY22 budget process. The update that we are planning will provide many opportunities for public input for the citizens. The Pros Consulting team will lead a process where we'll have community focus groups, key stakeholder interviews, public meetings, staff interviews, and other public engagement. This will be used to collect information to gather all the data necessary to gauge the desires and needs of our community. Included in this process will be a statistically valid survey, a needs assessment. We'll look at the demographics of Casa Grande, evaluate our current facilities and programming, do benchmark comparisons, fee analysis, trends analysis, and other data points necessary for a good master plan. We will have two sub-consultants that will work with Pros Consulting. One will be the architectural firm of Kimley Horn, and the other is ETC Institute, which deals mainly with the statistical portion. Pros Consulting was chosen in a qualified-based competitive process that began in August. 3 firms did submit SOQs, and a qualified group reviewed these and chose Pros Consulting as the best firm to perform this master plan work. Once again, the contract for the recommended scope of work for this project is $174,810. We would be starting right away as soon as the contracts is signed, and we would assume we'd start in early winter. So with that, I would stand for questions.
Mr. Powell?
The master plan, is this a group that comes in and does that, or is that something that they develop and do for us, or?
They'll come in and do all kinds of work that's provided in the scope of work in the contract. So they'll help lead a lot of the public meetings and lead a lot of the statistical analysis. Staff will also be doing a lot of that work also, providing whatever information that they need to help us move along.
Thank you.
Lisa?
You know, I'm happy to see that we're doing this, especially since it's been so long. And I think with our strategic objective of quality of life, it's really important. And I think this is what the community wants. I mean, you know, people talk about open space and parks and everything. So I'm really excited for this, but I just wanted to make sure that we try to be as inclusive as possible. You know, sometimes we might have to find creative ways to get out into communities. You know, people sometimes don't come to, you know, as you know, to some of the meetings for the input, but I think the input's really important. So I'm hoping you guys can maybe go into some of the neighborhoods specifically to you know, meet the diversity of the community and what the needs are, so throughout the whole community. So I'm just hoping you maybe go into neighborhoods rather than having the meetings at the community center or here or wherever. Might need to go out a little bit.
And we're planning to come to council in a study session when we kick off the actual process.
Perfect.
You know, obviously, this is the approval of the contract, and then we'll bring the consultant in, and we'll detail the type of public input and public engagement that we're planning.
And the process.
Yeah. And it'll include some events. It'll include some key stakeholder groups.
Okay.
It'll include lots and lots of options for online type things that they really learned during the COVID year, that they could still perform this type of work without face-to-face meetings. And then we'll do some boots on the ground type stuff too.
Thank you.
Donna?
I remember back in 2007 being part of that, and I know that you and I have talked about this a little bit, and I encourage Steve to make sure that, you know, we include the youth commission, thinking about the teen center, the Boys and Girls Club, those kind of places. And I think that we do need it. There's been a lot of changes since 2007, and we do have the opportunity, new opportunities to get out into the community that we did not have in 2007. So I'm sure between Steve's group and our PIO department that we'll be able to really include a lot more people than we have in the past. So good luck.
Matt?
Yeah, I just want to say I was happy to see the trails master plan that's from 2008, I believe, getting updated. I mean, we've done great work on it. I know we're doing a mile right now, did a mile last year, and working on a mile every year. But I'm glad to see that and to bring more to the forefront. Yeah, hopefully more budgets, we know. But also, I did want to thank you, as Donna said, you did contact me. I spoke with the Youth Commission this past weekend at the meeting, invited them to submit their names to participate in the process. So I've already got some excited about it.
Great.
So thank you very much.
And you know, that will be on our advisory ad hoc committee.
Yep.
And the rest of them will be able to submit
Participate in the,
any sort of public findings and
Yep.
public engagement. So it won't be limited to just whoever we chose for the
All right.
committee.
thanks.
Bob?
I applaud this also. I'm glad to see we're doing it. And from strictly a fiscal standpoint, it is a lot of money, and it sounds like a lot to do a survey, do a report on this. But I think it gives us the power to spend what money we have available in a very efficient way to get the most bang for the buck for our community and to get things in the right neighborhoods and in the right areas that people ask for them. I'm really looking forward to the study session when we fine tune that process. Thank you.
Mr. Powell?
I agree with the two of them on the survey. I think we've been through a number of surveys since I've been on city council, and usually you really get an indicative response in, and some things you think we might be doing really well, we may not be as well as we think, or are doing better than that. But I think anytime you get a chance to do that, it's a good practice.
Yeah, I think the best way to gauge the community's interaction on all that is, get out, talk to the community, survey them. We have a lot of new communities now, so there should be some interesting input that I'm sure we'll find as we move forward. So, any other comments on that? All right, seeing none, then I'll call for an ordinance number, please, Gloria. Thanks, Steve.
Ordinance number 3314, an ordinance of the council of the city of Cascadande, Arizona, accepting the proposal for professional services from Pros Consulting, Inc. to update the Cascadande Community Services Master Plan, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the ordinance of number 3314 as presented.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Excuse me, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is item I3. It's approval of resolution 5356. Can we talk about both the next two? Is that possible?
Sorry? What?
Well, I3, I4 vehicles.
Sure.
Can you roll them into one and we'll vote separately, but is that all right? Is everybody okay with that?
Chief, can
Am I okay there? Brett?
No.
I always prefer, right, that, since they are different vehicles, you have vans versus the other. He could certainly present it as one, but
Same-
comments are usually better served for each item.
Same
in case
vendor
anyone
though,
has
right?
any,
It's
so.
the same vendor?
It is the same vendor.
All right, let's talk about them together and then we'll vote on them separately. How's that?
Okay.
All right, thanks, Mayor, Council. Our first request is really a twofold request anyway. It's dealing with the purchase of vehicles and the upfit for those vehicles with the police equipment. On the vehicle section of that, staff recommends the mayor and city council authorize the purchase of 9 2022 Ford F-150 police trucks. Because of supply shortages, staff will accept either crew cab responder 4x4s and/or 2x2s, whichever is readily available from Peoria Motors, using Arizona State contract listed in the amount of $343,109. On the upfits, additionally, staff recommends the 9 vehicles be upfitted with police equipment and technology through MHQ of Arizona, utilizing the City of Casa Grande contract listed in the amount of $239,726.76. The quote that was attached to this was for an upfit of 12 vehicles, all at the same price per vehicle, but 3 of these vehicles have already been purchased through an emergency memo through the city managers, with the city manager's approval, and the upfits are accounted for. The $239,726.76 requested here represents the amount necessary for the remaining 9 vehicles requested in this RCA to be upfitted accordingly. Both requests amount to a combined total of $582,835.76, which amounts to $64,759.52 per vehicle, which is in our budget authority. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Powell?
Do we have that many 9 that are being replaced, Chief?
Council Powell, yes, we've had, they were carried over from last year.
Okay.
When we couldn't get any vehicles last year. So we had a carryover, plus we had 3 approved for, under the CIP funds, and we've already got 3 of the 9. So this 9 that we're asking for right now, 6 of those are from replacement, and 3 of those are from the CIP.
Well, that's what I was wondering about, is how you market the ones that have petered out, and the 9 new ones will be awful nice, that's for sure.
If we can get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get them. Matt?
Yeah, Chief, I just want to thank you guys' proactive approach in seeing the problems and trying to get these done. But I just want you to assure me that even if we get the 4x2s, that will be sufficient for what we do. I mean, mostly they're probably on the road anyway, just more robust type trucks. I know they last longer than the cars.
Counselor Herman, we would like to have a mixture of the
Okay.
4x4s if possible, but like was already noted, we'll take whatever we
Get what we
get at
get,
this
okay.
point. We
But
do
they'll be
have some
sufficient.
4x4s that are still in our fleet that we do utilize quite regularly, so we'd still like to keep a mixture of those available if possible.
Thank you.
Bob?
These are pickups,
Yes,
not SUVs.
they're pickups.
Do we have to go to the pickup because the SUVs are not available, or?
Counselor Huddleston, what we have found out and what we've been told is that the Tahoe platform, we won't even be able to look for any of those until sometime next year. They're already canceling people's orders on those. What we have done, as a suggestion from Mr. Raines, was we are currently putting together a research on any kind of police platform, whether it be a vehicle, whether it be a smaller SUV, whether it be a pickup truck, and contacting those departments that use those in our environment and getting some pros and cons, and we plan to come and present that to Mr. Raines as a reason why currently, at least, we feel like the pickup is our best model to go to.
Okay. And I realize you're saying if we can get even these, but is the preference a four-door pickup? And the next question is, will there be a prisoner compartment?
Yes to both.
Okay. And lastly, I noticed these are called Ford Responders. I never heard that term before, but is that pursuit rated, or?
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad you chimed in.
The responder is, for the truck, is like the Crown Vic was the Interceptor. That's their police model.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay.
You get any extras in that on those 150s, so, you know.
All right. We'll take I3 first, which is Resolution 5356, please, Gloria. Oh, wait. Yeah, did you talk about the vans or not?
No, he didn't.
You
But
really,
since we're already-
you dissed me.
Since we're already ready to vote, I say we just.
All right, well, let's just move. So you guys, it's a conspiracy. You guys are against me. All right, I'll just call for I3 resolution, please.
Resolution number 5356, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from PFVT Motors, Inc., DBA Peoria Ford, for the purchase of 9 2022 Ford Responders, accepting a quote from MHQ of Arizona to provide uplifting services for police vehicles, authorizing the expenditure of public funds, authorizing execution of contracts or purchase orders to complete the project.
Mayor McFarland, I move for approval of resolution number 5356 as presented.
I move to second.
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbon.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, let's move to I4.
Lieutenant Palmer is going to present this one, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor and Council, Cascadande Police Department recommends the mayor and city council authorize the purchase of two 2022 Ford T350 police transport vans from Peoria Motors Incorporated, using Arizona State contract number listed in the amount of $77,997.66, and have the two vehicles upfitted with police equipment and technology through MHQ of Arizona, utilizing City of Cascadande contract number listed in the amount of $58,625.12, for a combined total of $136,622.78, which is $311.39 per vehicle. And these two vehicles are replacement vehicles, and we have budget authority accordingly. And with that, I could answer any questions you might have.
Any questions, Bob?
What will they, or what use will they provide? What assignment will they have? Are they prisoner transport vans?
Yes, so that's correct. These are replacing our two current prisoner transport vans that the community service officers use.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just have a
Donna?
comment, and it's not so much for the chief or Chris, but in having conversations recently with someone that was concerned about, us going outside of the city, not to belabor what Matt always lets us know about, going local. But I think it's important because this is a state contract, and I want to mention that, I hope people understand that, we can't make people, put in bids and be part of the process. So I think that we're being fiscally responsible by using the state bid process, and it just happens that this is the company that got that. So that's it.
Mayor, can I make one quick comment on Councilman McBride?
Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead, Chief.
Is we actually went down in person twice to local dealerships and asked for bids in person. And so we felt like we did our due diligence at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chief, I appreciate that. I think that people sometimes don't know the lengths that we go to try to help local businesses. But as I said, we can't hold their hand and ask them to be part of the process unless they want to do the work, and we have to save the money to do that. So, thank you.
Well, and I want to defend local businesses. They are trying. So they're out there, they're trying, and hopefully, they'll work some things out. And they have the same issues that everybody else had. They can't get any equipment, right? They can't get any of the vehicles.
Right,
Sorry.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, if I can just build on that, to give a bit of background to our viewing public and the folks in the audience today. The city of Cascadande is facing the same supply chain shortages in the automotive industry as everyone is in the nation. And in fact, we're being told that there's a likelihood that we will not see a balance until sometime in 2023 with these vehicles, with purchases throughout the organization. What makes the police department a bit unique in many occasions is that they are asking for platforms for responder vehicles that are much different than some of the other fleet that we do drive. And our local vendors have been very responsive to our needs on our other vehicles. And in fact, the mayor and council will be hearing more about that, a replacement program that we're putting together here in the very near term in a future agenda item. But ultimately, as a staff, we are working as diligently as we can to ensure that we're replacing these vehicles that need to be replaced, that we're doing so with a fiscal responsibility in mind, and shopping locally when we can.
Thank you, Larry. All right, seeing no other comments, then I will call for a resolution number on I-4, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5357, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from PFVT Motors, Inc., DBA Peoria Ford, for the purchase of 2 vans, accepting a quote from MHQ of Arizona to provide uplifting services for the vehicles, authorizing the expenditure of public funds, and authorizing execution of contracts and/or purchase orders to complete the project.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of resolution number 5357 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next on our agenda is I-5, consider approval of ordinance number 3315. And are you doing that, Dwayne?
Yes.
Since you're the only public works person I see here.
So staff recommends the mayor and city council award a sodium hypochlorite purchasing contract to Casa Chemicals Incorporated for the purchase of bulk 12.5% sodium hypochlorite for the water reclamation facility. The city is recommending a second purchasing contract for the water reclamation facility to ensure regulatory permit requirements are met. The city's current sodium hypochlorite provider has had challenges fulfilling the 72-hour delivery requirement of the contract due to supply shortages and shipment delays from their vendor. Delayed deliveries from the current provider has caused wastewater staff to seek emergency purchases from other providers to ensure the city's treatment process is upheld to maintain compliance. The second contract will provide wastewater staff means to purchase sodium hypochlorite from a second source when the current provider is incapable of meeting the delivery schedule. Staff does not want to terminate the current contract because the second provider may also experience similar delays and shortages during this pandemic period. The city's wastewater division is requesting to use Pima County Master Agreement to purchase 12.5% sodium hypochlorite, which includes cooperative purchasing language. By utilizing this contract, the city will receive the benefit of lower prices. This contract would provide services for a portion of fiscal year 22 and may be extended annually at the city's discretion for an additional 2 years as stated in the Pima County contract. The project fees will be funded annually through monies budgeted for wastewater operations chemical purchases. The project has approved spending authority not to exceed $635,465. With that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions? Yes, Bob?
I think it's for Brett. Is there any prohibitions under our purchasing ordinances that we have two contracts? We're not violating our first one or anything, are we?
No, we're not. Ordinarily, obviously, you'd prefer if you knew that there were gonna be shortages, that we would have just awarded 2 bids, at that time. This is, we're following our purchasing guidelines by utilizing the Pima County contract, so we don't have to go back out to bid. It's normally not our preference, but given some of the supply shortages, I think it's something that Public Works felt was necessary to do. We also checked the pricing against this contract versus our current vendor, and they're virtually identical. And so it doesn't really present too much of an issue. And it's occasioned really by our initial provider's inability to meet the requirements of the contract.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sure there's a clause in that contract that says that we can go outside of it if,
Well, we don't really say that, but it's also not a specific exclusive contract. It doesn't say they'll be our exclusive provider in the DPC contract. And I'm not certain, you'd have to ask Public Works, but I believe DPC was aware of this and understands, because the alternative we have is to terminate the DPC contract for failure to meet the requirements and then move towards the second one. And Public Works at this time doesn't want to do that because the concern is that the failure to do it isn't really an intentional breach, but simply one of recognizing that sometimes some people have supply, sometimes other people do. It's not unlike when you go to a gas station sometimes and you see that they're all yellowed off because they don't have any gas today. So sometimes you have to go somewhere else.
Thank you.
Mr. Powell?
The product itself, does that come out of Pima County, or I was looking at this, the estimated annual contract amount of $1,300,000 for the specifications and requirements defined herein?
Yeah, that's the Pima County original bid that they did. So we're utilizing the pricing that they had. We did confirm with them that our use of the contract wouldn't exceed the maximum amount that they did with Casa. And
Do
so
they
we're
give it
able-
at different times?
So,
They're coming
excuse me?
from one fell swoop?
For deliveries?
Yeah.
I believe, and I leave it out to Public Works, but I believe the deliveries usually come in about 5,000 gallons at a time.
That's okay.
And so we get bulk deliveries of that when we need the product. We really don't have the storage capability to put an entire year's worth there without putting in significant amounts of infrastructure in ourselves.
That's true. We can store some, but not as much as we would like to. We do have a future CIP project to increase the storage amount. I don't know exactly when that's coming, but there is a future one coming.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
No.
All right, thank you, Dwayne. Seeing none, I'll call for an ordinance number on I-5, please.
Ordinance number 3315, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a bid from Casa Inc. for the purchase of 12.5 sodium hypochlorite, authorizing the expenditure of public funds and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Casa Inc.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of ordinance number 3315 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next, we'll move to boards and commissions. Gloria, since you're the one who's up, I'll do the presentation. How's that? Is that all right?
Sounds good.
All right. So this is to consider approving the reappointment of Gloria Lieja, our city clerk, to the Police and Fire Personnel Retirement Boards with
I so move.
with terms to expire on December 3rd of 2025. Does anybody have any comments or questions on this?
Does she want to?
Don't
Sure.
No, I move,
Enthusiastically.
Enthusiastically.
I move to approve that.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Gloria.
Thank you.
All right, item K, K1, considering the final adoption of ordinance number 1178.203.1.
That's me too.
And that's you too.
And this does not appear on the consent agenda because we did have a council member who voted against it. Ordinance number 1178.203.1, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance 1178 and its subsequent amendments by changing the zoning from planned area development to multifamily residential on property generally located at the southeast corner section of Peart Road and Dome Road.
Mayor McFarland, I move for approval of ordinance number 1178.203.1 as presented.
Second?
All right, Gloria, I have a motion and a second. Can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll move to item K2, considering accepting the final accounting and reporting for the City of Casa Grande Health Care Benefits Trust. Oh, sorry, Scott, there you are. I was blinded by the light.
Usually over there. Mayor McFarland, members of the council, this evening before you is the final accounting and report of the City of Casa Grande Healthcare Benefits Trust Board of Trustees. This is the final item of business relating to the healthcare trust that was established in 2017. The city decided to leave the commercial or the fully funded conventional insurance market for employee benefits and venture into the self-insured market, partially self-insured, really what it's amounted to, because the city bought reinsurance to cover the maximum liability per claim and then over all claims in the course of a year. This, interesting enough, was our second, over the course of time, our second venture into partial self-funding. The first one lasted 2 years, and we were driven back to the commercial market, the fully insured market, based on claims experience, and pretty much that's what happened this time. So for 3 years, from 7/1/17 to 6/30/20, the city was covered with this partially self-funded program. And part of the deal this time around was that it was necessary to establish a trust and appoint a trust board to oversee that. And so that's what happened. And so we monitored that over the course of time, but unfortunately claim frequency and other factors combined to put us in a situation where for the policy year, which began on July 1st, 2020, we returned to a conventionally insured market to cover our employees for employee benefits, health, life, dental, and what have you. So this is the report that's required by the trust document that was adopted for the trust. And we want to express our appreciation especially to our three remaining board members over a combination of circumstances, the last year of the plan, and then the last year we call the run-out year, that was necessary to preserve in order to pay claims during a 12-month period after the end of the program. We ended up with three board members, and Ronna Curfey ably served as the board chair. Connie Wright was a member, and Councilmember McBride served on behalf of the council as well. So the information that's contained there is the report from the board of trustees, and then the accounting aspect of it, and we've attached the trust document just for your information. So with your receiving that this evening formally, that'll be the last thing that will need to be done. Council took action to dissolve the trust at the end of 2020 or in June of 2020, May or June of 2020, and so that's already taken place. So this is the last thing that needs to happen. I'll answer any questions you might have.
Anyone? Thank you, Scott. All right, seeing none, then I'll consider accepting the final accounting and report of the City of Cascadande Health Care Benefits Trust. Anyone who would like to make a motion to accept the final accounting report?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The report's approved and accepted. Thank you, Scott. Next is item K3. This is considering approval of a resolution 5358. This is Planning and Development Department. I was going to say director, but you don't look like Kevin.
Or Paul.
Or Paul, sorry. Paul's not here either, is he?
No, he left me alone.
Okay. You're on your own.
Be kind. So staff is recommending that the mayor and council authorize the submission of an application to the Arizona Department of Housing for the Arizona State Housing Funds, the Home Grant, and the Housing Trust Funds for the owner-occupied rehabilitation activities in the amount of $350,000 for construction activities for approximately 3 to 6 homes and $35,000 for administration. In addition, we are asking permission to use program income in the Housing Development Fund and the CDBG OOHR funds as leverage to these home funds, and also to adopt the housing rehabilitation guidelines as presented.
I do have a question. So this is in addition to our CDBG money, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is some of the state money, because I know the state has been put on notice that the feds are going to pull some of their CARES Act money, or it's not CARES, but their funding that they had out there if it's not used by the state. So this is part of that?
I don't think so. This is just our annual funding through home
Okay.
for the OOHR project. So we apply for this annually.
Okay. Are we looking at some of the other money? Oh, sorry, it's not on the agenda. Apologize. I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay.
1 second left, Mayor.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
Is this what we got last year?
Yeah.
Okay,
we
so
got
it's
the
right
same
around the
amount.
same, nothing less, more, or whatever?
Right.
Okay.
I just put the caveat in there about how many homes we're going to do because the
Right.
prices have gone up. So
Can we ask for more money?
No, they have a cap.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
But they have a lot of cash.
Well, for this project, we were just allowed to. I asked for the maximum.
Maximum.
All right. Sorry. Was there a comment in the audience? No? Okay. Did anybody else have any questions? Matt?
I'm glad she asked for the max.
Thank you. Thanks, Mary Ellen. Any other comments? Okay. All right, then I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5358, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, authorizing the submission of a grant application to Arizona Department of Housing, authorizing the city manager to accept grant funds for the owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program, authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement with Arizona Department of Housing, authorizing the city finance director to accept disbursements as necessary, authorizing the transfer of budget authority, authorizing use of certain funds to provide matching fund opportunities, authorizing other actions in support of the grant, and authorizing the adoption of the 2021 owner-occupied housing rehabilitation guidelines.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 5358 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Huddleston.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, well, that concludes most of tonight's business. We do have our reports, and so I've only done it one time in the 5 years that I've been here, so I'm going to go first.
So I can cross all these off mine.
I know what you're going to say.
You know, you were late getting here.
No, I was on time. So, just to kind of let everybody know, the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act was signed into law today, so we're going to monitor that closely and make sure that we have our grants and things in order in order to try and take advantage of that infrastructure money that is out there. It's about $550 billion that's being put forward in infrastructure. There's additional programming that takes it up to that $1.2 trillion number, but it was just signed into law today. They still have rules and policies to put in place before we can actually apply for it, but we are going to keep an eye on it, and if you all hear anything about it or know anything, insights or anything, please let me know, let staff know, so we can kind of keep our ear to the ground. That includes trying to get monies for I-10, our courts and interchange, all of those projects that we have. We've got the RAISE grant for courts and TI. So hopefully all of that, will, knock on wood, we'll see some dollars come to Casa Grande to make those things happen. And I'm also very proud to announce, if you don't know it yet or not, but the Motor Trend Car of the Year honors goes to Lucid Air for the 2022. It's the first manufacturer to have their first vehicle actually honored as Car of the Year. So that is quite an honor. It's amazing. Some of the accolades that Motor Trend put in here. The one negative they put in is that they believe that Lucid Air has too many touch screens. That was the one knock. Despite the high cost, the Motor Trend judges said they believe that Lucid Air is a strong value, that's amazing to say on a car that costs $170,000. So, and goes 520 miles on a single charge. So they were super impressed with that, and so it just was a good day today in terms of the press. Then we also, that was in the Phoenix Business Journal, also on some other communications that was out there. In addition, in the Phoenix Business Journal today, they talked about this Girl Power, which is a group syndicated Casa Grande parcel. They paved the way for 1,200 homes and 2,500 apartments. They purchased this property. It's 321 acres. It's on the south side of town over towards I-10 and I think it is Selma Highway. And so it's a group of women who paid cash for this property and have some big plans. And then it goes on to talk about, Casa Grande is back. It's officially on the map again in terms of economic development. This is from an independent person in Phoenix, advisory senior management of the Zoda Marketing. It says home builders, apartments build to rent, developers, commercial developers, all have their sights set on Casa Grande due to growing population, city planning. I think that's a congratulations to our city planning and our staff. So congratulations, Larry. Please, send our congratulations on that. That's a big statement coming from, investment community that's up in Phoenix.
Absolutely.
That we are actually being recognized. So super proud of our group. Super proud of Casa Grande. It's awesome. I do have this week, I've got a meeting with Teresa Martinez. She's our new LD11 representative. In fact, it's tomorrow morning at 8:30. So I did ask the league to put together some information, so I'll be sharing this with you all. I just got it literally today, so I'll share it with you. But it's got some interesting data that 80% of Arizonans live in incorporated cities and towns, and that 90% of all of Arizona's economy occurs in incorporated cities and towns. That's a pretty big statement. And so those are the kinds of things that we want to continue to preach to our legislators and remind them that the rubber meets the road in the cities and towns. So don't handcuff us. So I probably have more, but I'll kind of stop there. I do want to ask the council if you could. This is not part of the charter review. We are moving forward with that, and you'll hear more about that. But we have another project, which is a project that I'm working with ASU on. It's called the Decision Tree, and the Decision Tree is a 3D model, basically, that they put data into. And I need the names of 20 local people, businessmen, manufacturing, industry, people who are interested in our community, that including yourselves, if you're interested in being part of it. But I need a list, so if you could get me that list, or get it to Larry, actually. Larry would be better. If you can send it to Larry and give him some suggestions. I've got to put a group of 20 people together, and then we'll set up that meeting with ASU, and we'll kind of pound out the questions we want to ask this model. So it'll be an interesting project, and I think it could help the city move forward in terms of some of our planning. I do have some work that I'm working on with the folks downtown, so we'll continue to do that. And that's all I've got. So I'm going to start over here with you, Donna. You can go next.
Just hats off for the Veterans Day Parade. I think we all had a great time. It was just a beautiful morning to be out and see so many people supporting our veterans. I did want to mention that I am also proud. For the past 6 years, I think the mayor and I have been working on the boards and commissions and trying to get things together for those and updating. And as of right now, according to the clerk's office, all boards and commissions that are active are full for the first time, and until February of 2022, I believe. So I'm really proud of that. And just a reminder that we have a community blood drive coming up at the library on the 22nd. So if you want to do something good for your community, it's a great way to give back. It's on November 22nd from 10 to 2 at the library downtown. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Matt?
Thanks. Also, kind of along with what you were saying, Mayor, is when I was getting in my truck here, I heard on the radio that we were going to vote on the Kohler agreement tonight. So it was on the radio on Arizona News about a million square feet and everything. And I'll stop there, Brett. That's all I'm saying. It was on the news. So that was pretty neat. So I knew what I was doing tonight when I came in, thanks to the, no, I'm just kidding. This weekend, we had a great meeting of the Youth Commission. They also had a study session, so I'm getting them accustomed to government procedures. So we did our meeting, then we had a study session about their Youth Government Summit that they're planning for next year. And I impressed them how close we really are to that, so they can start working or continue working hard on that, and we got a great team. And then after the study session, we went over to the Garden of Sunshine and painted the new pillars that Public Works put up for us. And so they're bright colors now, and we had a great time with very little paint spillage. It worked out great. And they also got their Facebook page going, thanks to Rebecca from the PIO department. not easy to get that going, but she helped us out immensely, so I'm glad. As someone that drives under the underpass multiple times a day, I'd love to tell you that the landscaping is almost completed, and that was donated by the contractor Ellison Mills, and just that made a huge difference, not to mention all the painting and everything. Every single day, all day long, people are working on that. So it's a long process, but it is moving along, and it is great. And today I saw the first mosaic, and it's on the west side. It's up on the wall. So, and I took a picture driving through very slowly, and I got a decent picture of it. It looks way better in person, but I just want to say thank you again, how great that project is, goes along with us beautifying our entryways, quality of life, artistic, everything, and it's going to be something to be really proud of. And hopefully we can close it to have a good celebration down there, Gloria, for an hour or two and do some roller skating or whatever down there, all right? Okay, and that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Matt. Bob?
Mayor, along with Donna, I wanted to compliment the Veterans Day Parade. I really enjoyed riding in that, and I thought it was a very fitting salute to all of our veterans. I wanted to comment that your fire truck driving skills are excellent. Thought you did a good job. And also I had the pleasure of, I think it was Friday, in greeting the Gilbert Days Pony Express here at City Hall. And it wasn't a group of dirty Rough Riders. It was some very attractive young ladies.
They're purty, aren't they?
They're purty. They beautiful horses as well. They were very friendly and spent some time with us. Just a little side note, several of the residents from the Garnett behind us came out to see the horses, and the ladies visited with them. And during that, there was a medical emergency with one of the residents from the Garnett, and one of the young ladies, the Arizona rodeo queen, jumped off her horse, ran out, started tending to the lady. The gentleman I was standing with said she's in good hands now because that young lady is also a trained physician's assistant. And so, my goodness, she wears lots of hats, very impressive. So anyway, thank you for that opportunity, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Powell?
Tell you can't be cowboys and cowgirls.
No.
That's good. We probably need to keep our eyes open for a limo. My granddaughter thinks the mayor needs a limo, so if we can find one with a deal on it, that'd be something she'd like to see us get. One of the things that I've tickled about, I got a hold of the University of Arizona, and they have a water research area. And we've lined up our first meeting to take place the 22nd. We've got Tim Dunn, who's a representative, has a committee in the Congress, or in the legislature. And we have a guy from the Crits, and Crits is the Colorado River Indian Tribes. There's 4 different tribes that make that up. And they had talked earlier about trying to do desal, but where that lake starts, that's the only time they could take water out of it, is out of Lake Havasu. And from there, for 110 miles, they have the greatest water rights, the Crits do, of anybody on the river, on either side, on California or Arizona. So they seem to be pretty happy about trying to do it. I never forget, we went up earlier at one time to ASU, and went up to the Kyle Center up at the top on the water, and the lady there, I won't mention her name because I don't want to, but she said, well, where are you guys from? I said, we're from Pinal County. And Pinal County, that's where they grow all that darn cotton, and they grow alfalfa, and they take all of that water that should be going toward development. They don't say that in Tucson. They're very, very versed in that, and so I'm really hoping we can make some pretty good progress with the ones involved and get a feasibility study done. And the thing that you have to watch, and Matt, I made the comment to him, but until we can get water back in those 2 dams, in those 2 lakes, we're in a lot of trouble. And trying to get water in there, you can't put desal water, make it run uphill and fill it. It's good for local things, but the floodwater harvesting would be ideal if we can get that done. And they've got the maps and everything, so as I say, I got my fingers crossed and about as excited as I've been about it since I've been doing this, so sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Lisa?
On a lighter note, no, come on, you guys, proud days for the Cougars. Aren't we all happy here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, no, it's so exciting, of course, as a Cascadande Union.
Playoffs.
Alumni, proud of the Cascadande Cougars, and I must say, I went to the game, the last home game, and I was so impressed with, the coach, Jake Barrow, and what he's done for that team and the community. And how he's really pulled everyone together. Of course, I went to school there, my kids all went to school there, and just the excitement that you see, and I'm just so thrilled. So the game is Friday, the playoff game, they play Deer Valley, so I really hope the community gets out there and supports this team. And,
They
and
play
not only
all the home games. They're going to be all home games.
Yeah, they're
Because they're
home.
number 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So they will
awesome.
be home. So I think the tickets go on sale tomorrow, and you have to get them through the AIA. So you have to have a ticket before you go to the game. But also, proud of not only the football team, but the Pride of Cascadande marching band got second place at the state competition. And again, all 3 of my girls were in the marching band, and over my, I don't even know, 8, 9 years going to all those competitions, for us to even get in the top 10 at the state was amazing. And it happened maybe 3 times in the years my girls all were in the band. So for these guys to get second place, it's just exciting. And Martin Hebda, a shout out to him. So many times people focus on the football team and, that athletic team, but that band director is just amazing and has done so many great things. So I'm just so proud of them too. So anyways, proud Cougar alum here. The Faith Alliance has their education summit this Thursday at the Compass Church. Mayor, I think we have you on the list to attend. If anyone else would like to attend, go to thefaithalliance.org. Dr. Battle will be there, Dr. Gonzalez will be there, and Jenny Gonzalez will be there from CAC. It's this Thursday at 11:30, the Faith Alliance. And for those of you that know Mark Vanderhayden, he's the director at Seeds of Hope. He's retiring.
He's been there a long time.
He's been there a long time, so his last day is December 1st. His last day on our Faith Alliance, which he was one of those that started this organization, has been there forever. His last meeting is this Thursday also. So we're, of course, want to thank him for all of his service to that group. The Veterans Day Parade, just thank you to all the organizers, HOHP, for everything they do for our veterans. It was just so nice when you go down in that route to see all the veterans salute you, and so respectful. So I just thank everyone for their service. And just happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's next week, and then we have the Electric Light Parade is going to be before our next meeting, so December 4th. So I hope everyone gets out. I'm excited to get out again. That's it for me.
Thanks, Lisa. Mr. Lavender?
Well, I was going to mention Coach Barrow and Mr. Hebda as well, but they've done a fantastic job. Also wanted to give out some praise to Steve and the golf course staff, Jennifer there. I've been playing Dave White for 25 years, and I've never seen the golf course in better shape. Encourage our citizens to get out and take advantage of the outstanding conditions that are out there now. But congratulations, Steve, great work.
I have one more thing, as I always do.
Mr. Powell?
I just, talking about golf, I have never lost a golf match. I always get the most strokes. Makes me a winner.
Bada bing. All right.
I have one more.
Matt?
Quickly. Also, after Thanksgiving, on the 27th of November is Small Business Saturday. And Main Street's doing a lot of stuff downtown for that. So support our local businesses, go downtown.
good call.
Go shopping, and have fun.
Yeah,
And
good
they're
call.
serving Thanksgiving dinner at the Elks, I believe, on Thanksgiving Day. I don't remember the time.
Well, we're
now.
also doing
Is it in there?
Thanksgiving at Lincola Center
Okay.
at 3 o'clock this Wednesday, the 17th. Actually, it's going to be at Palo Verde Elementary School. It's not going to be at Lincola. Is that correct? So it's at Palo Verde,
This Thursday, right?
4 to 6 p.m. And it's a to-go meal. Thank you, Steve. Also, I wanted to mention that the Texas Roadhouse is open officially today at 3 o'clock. I was at the ribbon cutting, and they are excited. So go check it out. And then, what else did I have? I had one other. Oh, that was it, Thanksgiving. Okay. All right. Any other comments? All right, seeing none. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Meeting adjourned.